Hi again, Chris here. I'm just going to go through a quick tutorial and overview of the daily race cards and tools that are available. They are hopefully straightforward, but of course when you're getting used to anything for the first time, it's maybe handy to have a quick overview. So once you click the cards and daily menu, you can get through to today's race card analysis, or you can view tomorrow's as well. There's also a drop down menu to take you straight to a race if you want to at the top there. That'll just automatically load. Um, Once you're there, obviously you can click any of these links, will take you straight through to a race. Or alternatively, if you wish to change the presentations, there's a couple of different options there. But in any case, once you're actually viewing a race, you will see across the top several tabs which itemize different stuff of interest, and some of them will only appear dependent on the race type. So for example, there's no actual big races today, but an extra tab appears here with trend details for bigger races. But running through them, the first one, obviously the race card, is self-explanatory, I would hope, to most people. Fairly basic stuff. If you hover over certain items, you'll see additional information, which is useful. You can sort the data on most of these tabs as you wish. And if you're looking for further help and other different options, they appear on the page too. The next tab is the ratings tab, probably the most confusing of them all, but basically it shows the ratings breakdown for each of the different settings that you have installed, and gives a full breakdown by how it's calculated. So, for example, looking at this top one, Also Spicy, this particular rating is 150.7. There's the odds, and so on. You can read through it. So on its last race score, 72.2, 34.5 for second last race, and so on. And then all the way through, showing exactly how the rating is compiled. If you want to, you can go even further. So say we wanted to know how that 1.6 for the seventh last race is broken down. You can go in and you can see the breakdown as you go. On to the next one, the form tab. This is one that I find particularly useful, because it's given everything at a glance. For each horse, it's broken down into their last runs and last wins, right up to their seventh last run is there, so you can view side by side that, looking at it quickly, Stellan Panache, his seventh last run was 120 days ago. You can click the link if you want to. It would bring that result up. It was at Salisbury. It was Class 4, handicap worth 5 grand, over 5 furlongs, good to soft. He finished 8th of 9 at 8 to 1, and it weighed 9.3. It's a fantastic page to quickly glance over the form of each of the runners in the race. If you want to, you could specifically say, I only want to look at, say this is a Windsor race, so we only want the flat form. Some of them might change if there was an all-weather race. You can see Matavia Bay there, it looks like it changed. So all form, Matavia Bay is obviously ran at Kempton on its last run, so when you change that to flat only, Matavia Bay's last run is suddenly Nottingham, so you can see the idea of that. On each of the tabs there are different options. Again, the page just reloads automatically when you click them, so if you only wanted to look at the form of each horse and handicaps on the flat, you could do so. For example, if you wanted to see if any of them ran the hurdle, they haven't, but you could do that. On to the next tab, it's the Going tab. What these next few tabs do is show a breakdown of the type of analysis side by side, and again we have the option to change the data that's included in the tables. So side by side, you can see that Stellan Panache is ran 10 times on good to firm, and it's placed twice. It's ran 9 times on good, 1, 2, placed 3, etc. And it's there for all the detail. Again, just quickly, if we change just to flat only, and the table reloads. It's the same thing for the distance analysis tab, showing the breakdown of each horse over the varying distances in relation to today's race. So today's race is 6 furlongs, so over 6 furlongs, Stellan Panache has ran twice and never won. And there's various other bits and bobs. So Davinsky, you can see, is 121 times it's ran on the distance. You can go in and obviously research things further if you want to, but that's pretty much it. I mean, you can change the ranges if you wanted to, get a more accurate breakdown perhaps. Next tab is the trainer tab. Again, the same principles apply. This time we're looking at, say, this one here, at the track. PD Evans has had 57 runners, 6 of them have won, 18 have placed, strike rate of 11%. Again, if we change that to, say, handicaps only, he's had 29 runners in handicaps at Windsor, and 4 of them have won, 11 have placed, and so on. You can change the number of days included in this report to whatever suits your needs. The jockey tab is, exactly the same. Principles apply as the trainer tab. It's worth noting though that there is a couple of extra queries available in this drop down, so if you wanted to compare the jockey's 14-day strike rate, you could call that up. There's a few others there. Today's claim. Say you wanted to say with today's claim in the last 14 days. Again, it reloads for you. On to the next one, that's the track. Here we have different analysis of the horse's performance at the track, obviously, but also on characteristics similar to the track. So it's a straight 6 furlongs at Windsor. How has the horse performed on other straight tracks? You can see there. Obviously, the southeast of England is where Windsor is, and it's in the UK. So again, more analysis there. Next one is the field size and odds range. So again, the same principle applies. You can see how the horse has done when in a field with 9 or less runners, 10 or more runners, and then in terms of odds, if it's ever been favourite, how it's performed, and other brackets for odds. And again, the same principle applies. If you wanted to just see handicaps, you can do that. So, I mean, look, taking the top horse again, Stellan Panache. It's never ran as a favourite in a handicap, but it's ran twice in non-handicaps as favourite, won once, placed once. So that's that. On to the next one, it's the class tab. Again, the presentation here will change dependent on the race you're viewing. So this is a class 5, so the breakdown shows you class 7, class 6, class 5, class 4, and then class 3 and higher. If we change that and try and find something that's not a class 5, which well, typically will probably take an hour. There's a class 4, so you can see the presentation changes in line with what's appropriate to today's race. And again, you can change these options if you want. The official ratings tab, that's very useful to people who are particularly interested in handicap marks and so on. And I have to say I use it quite a lot. It's very useful, and in certain races you can spot things at a glance that are really useful, particularly if you find horses who are running in races where the average official rating was significantly higher than today's, or something like that. The weight tab is, again, it's really only going to be of use if you're particularly interested and adept at studying weights. I would certainly recommend putting the handicap tab on when you're looking at handicap weight performance. The next one is headgear. Again, we can see, more relevant when they're actually wearing headgear, but, Dickie Le Davoir is wearing blinkers and shows you its performance in similar races. Head to head is the next tab. It's hopefully self-explanatory, but again, it's an area I use a lot. I think that sometimes people overlook form. I mean, if a horse has beaten another horse significantly, um, it's to me such an indicator that I don't understand why more people don't take notice of it. I know the weights can change and so on, but if a horse has beaten another horse 5 or 6 times, and you know they're the same odds, and you can get a price on the Betfair exchanges for head to head or whatever, to me it's a good angle. Um, On to the next one, which is the Stallion. You can see it's all fairly self-explanatory. I don't want to keep repeating myself and insult your intelligence, but basically, if you just flick through each of the different tabs, you're going to be presented with relevant information depending on the one that you're viewing, and you can change and apply different characteristics to your data to suit your needs. And that's really about it for now. The only other thing to say is if you wanted to view all the race cards on one page, you can do the 1 day race cards option, which lists them all. I quite often do this just to pull out the handicaps for the day, so handicaps only, and that brings up just the handicaps, and it can be pretty useful to try and spot things. Anyway, I'll sign off for now. As usual, if there's any feedback or questions or anything else, just give me a shout. Okay, cool, cheers.